The voice is back and I'm ready for a mock draft. Baby, what's crack-a-lacking? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content as always. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. We're doing this via PFF because, hey, you could mess with the draft order, and I decided to take the draft order from Tankathon as it goes by the current standings. We're 2 weeks through, so yeah, the standings are kind of wild, and I think it'll make for a fun mock draft. So let's go ahead, get this sucker started with pick one is the Denver Broncos. Hey, we're playing with different scenarios, different possibilities. Just open your mind, and if anything, this is just really kind of one big watch list for y'all. But the Denver Broncos, if you're picking first overall, you gotta get out of Russ some way, somehow. He's cooked, he's washed, he's trash. And I will say this, I don't know if Denver's in like the top 5 but not number 1. Like, I don't know if I do this for like Drake Maye, but Caleb Williams, abso-freaking-lutely, we're taking Caleb Williams here for the Denver Broncos. All right, we got the Chicago Bears, and I thought about Drake Maye because Justin Fields has looked pretty bad at the quarterback position thus far through 2 games. Hopefully he can turn it around, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to y'all Bears fans. I know y'all don't want to relive the nightmare of taking a North Carolina Tar Heel quarterback at pick 2. So we're going to just skip over quarterback. Maybe we'll think back at quarterback when their next pick's on the clock. We're going to go ahead and just grab some firepower. Chase Claypool is checked out. Darnell Mooney, I believe, is a free agent after the season. I don't think they've extended him. So grabbing more receivers would be kind of helpful. Pairing up DJ Moore with Marvin Harrison is kind of sexy. Yeah. All right, we got the the Los Angeles Superchargers, and I know defensively this team is very mad, but I think a lot of that is Brandon Staley, who probably, if they end up picking 3, if they end up picking the top 10, I think he's gone, and Kellen Moore's your new head coach, so congratulations. But the value here at the top is it's very much at the offensive side of the football. So we're gonna go ahead, sure up the other tackle spot. Though Pickens has been relatively solid, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna snag my current tackle 1 being Joe freaking Alt. I think it's gonna, when it's all said and done, it's gonna be a 3-man race at OT1 between Olufashanu, Joe Alt, and a guy that I will take in a few picks. So let's not spoil it. Minnesota Vikings, no-brainer. If you're here, then you're like, okay, you know what? At least we're drafting high enough to get a quarterback, and we're not bringing back Kirk Cousins. We're going to go with Drake Maye. He is quarterback 2, and then quarterback 3 is kind of interesting in this class because I think that's probably the most debated position in this class. Like, okay, who outside of Maye, outside of Williams, who's the next quarterback? And the thing is, there's a plethora of guys. It's just, are you willing to take those guys early in the first round? Arizona Cardinals, they're picking here at 5. We'll pick again at 8. So yeah, we're probably keeping Kyler Murray at this point. We would love to surround him with more talent in terms of playmakers, but Marvin Harrison's gone. Could go with one of the other receivers. I think instead I'm just going to focus on the defense. In general, this team is depleted, devoid of talent. This year is just kind of a just throwing crap at the wall, seeing what sticks, then moving with what sticks, moving on with what sticks next season. So I'm gonna grab more pass rush, though it's been weird. Like, you had Gardeck week 1, then you had Victor Dimukeje here in week 2 that kind of like played a good game, but I think just going and getting that star pass rusher, it's kind of ideal for me. That's still Jared Verse in this class. The Cincinnati Bengals, man, crap has really hit the fan. You're picking here at 6. No brainer for me. Olufashanu, he's on the board. Jonah Williams, He'll be a free agent. They've already parted ways with Lyle Collins, so right tackle is kind of a wide open position that they need to fill, and Fashanu will fill it nicely. The New England Patriots, I would have loved Olu Fashanu, but he is no longer available. He's off the board. Currently, the tackles are, they got Lowe, who I actually like coming out of Illinois, but more as a depth guy. Calvin Anderson, who's fine, but outside of that, it's nothing. It's nothing. They need more talent. They need high-end talent. So this is where I'm going to take who I think, who's currently my OT3, and I think once he comes back from injury, as he just had tightrope surgery on the ankle earlier this week, and they're expecting him to be out 4 to 6 weeks, but Armarius Mims has all those traits, moves well at a humongous size. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I think he'll be in that OT1 conversation. Listen, I know you love the NFL draft as much as I do, and you're going to want a nice hefty watch list of players during this college football season. Well, go ahead, check out my draft guide. You can purchase it for only $30 by Venmoing or PayPaling me. Links in the description. It's a one-time payment, and you get it for this whole draft cycle and forever and always. Technically, it's a Google spreadsheet, so send me your email when you send the payment. I'll get you hooked up. You will see my current prospect rankings and big board, my full evals, and guess what? It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So it's a great purchase, and it's a great way to support the channel. All right, we're back here for pick 2 for the Arizona Cardinals. I gotta get a new chair. I know it squeaks. I know. This chair's been with me a long time. I know. I'm sorry if you hear the chair. We're gonna stay on the defensive end. This time we're gonna address the corner position. I don't really know if there's anyone they want to move forward with. Keitrell, forgot your last name. Clark, there we go. He's had some up and down games, but like honestly, he looks like someone I'd want to move forward with. Marco Wilson, it's kind of still up for debate, but I think addressing the corner position after addressing edge just kind of makes a lot of sense for me. It's still Kool-Aid McKinstry here. And then the Chicago Bears. This is the wheelhouse of quarterbacks I'm thinking of. We could talk about maybe your Quinn Ewers, someone who maybe not necessarily needs to start week 1 because you will still have Justin Fields, so that's fine. We could talk about Shadur, but maybe you're looking for a bit more upside in terms of the arm. Or we can talk about like Bo Nix, Michael Penix, guys that could be plug and play and can challenge Fields almost immediately. Or we could say, screw it, let's just run. Like maybe you go with a quarterback in round 2 or 3. Let's just go ahead and move forward with Fields for this season. And we've already got him help at the wide receiver position. Let's address this defense that direly needs some help. And I'm going to go with, where are you at? Chop Robinson, man. This guy flies off the edge. Elite first step. And we're going to snag him here to help out with that Bears defensive line. Las Vegas Raiders. All right, man. We could go quarterback here. I guess that's an option. I think defensively, this team needs a lot of help. And grabbing an interior player would be ideal. Johnny Newton, he has had an explosive start to the season. He is a plus run defender at 295. That's something they need along their interior, but I love what he can do as a penetrator. So we're going to stack him for the Raiders. Houston Texans, this is their first pick because they traded their pick to the Cardinals, not this one. I don't know why, but it's what it is. And I kind of want to just take the best talent on the board. They did sign Dalton Schultz to like what? I want to say a 3-year deal, 4-year deal, maybe it's 2-year deal. I don't know. Regardless, he ain't stopping me from not taking the best player currently on the board in Brock Bowers, a guy at 240 who is actually a very good blocker, but what he can do as a pass catcher, just adding more playmakers for CJ Stroud, I think would be huge. So I'm going to grab Bowers here. The Detroit Lions corner is far from a solved position, and I think they should probably continue to address that. So we're gonna go with Kalen Keen's kind of the guy right here. I think he's a good fit for Aaron Glenn's man-heavy system. The Indianapolis Colts. Listen, I would like the offensive line is just I love it. But they need more playmakers. Hopefully they can figure out the Jonathan Taylor thing. Even if they don't, I'm not taking a running back here at pick 13. That's just unlucky. But I think grabbing more playmakers would definitely be ideal. Like Brock Bowers would be fun here, but he's not here. Perhaps I don't know. I kind of like the idea of Malik Neighbors, someone who can create after the catch, and he's showing you that vertical separation. Just a very good athlete in general. You also have obviously Alec Pierce there. You have Joshua Downs, and then Michael Pittman kind of as the alpha of the bunch. So you just keep adding weapons for Anthony Richardson. This one was kind of tough for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ultimately, I settled on, you know what? Bulky loves himself, like just kind of like freak athletes. And Latu is that. He's having a wonderful season. He had a great year last season as well. We, of course, need to get like the stuff with the neck. You kind of want a clean bill of health moving forward when it comes to that. But outside of Josh Allen, they haven't really shown much pass rush. I know Travon Walker's more of this like work in progress, but I think just adding more pass rush help isn't always a bad idea. The Seattle Seahawks. This is tough. I would have loved Latu because this is a team that feels like they keep invested in pass rusher. They're just not hitting. They're just not. They can't get pressure on the quarterback. But I mean, I don't think that there isn't a guy here that I feel really good about. So I'm just going to go with what I've been doing and just getting them their quarterback of the future. Like Geno, fine bridge quarterback, solid quarterback, maybe a top 15 quarterback in the league, but he isn't the future. Maybe get someone that can contend with him almost right away. And I think that's Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix a lot. He is probably my quarterback 3 in this class. No. Yeah, no, I'd probably go with Quinn Ewers, but I like Bo Nix's ability to start much better. I think he's a more polished prospect. So if you're looking for maybe a potential immediate starter, you go with Bo Nix. But if you're like, oh, well, let's shoot for the upside and on a guy that, hey, he doesn't maybe necessarily need to start right away. That's kind of where I see Quinn Ewers, the landing spot, being a team that doesn't necessarily need him maybe to start day one. We got the Los Angeles Rams, and I almost took receiver here to I was thinking Keon Coleman to pair up with Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell. You still have Cooper Kupp there. Maybe they move Cooper Kupp just before he gets on the wrong side of 30 and kind of free up some cap space. I think that's always in the cards. I would have loved offensive line here, but it's just not meant to be. Ultimately, I decided to go actually help the defense out because they're outside of Aaron Donald. You could probably upgrade every position. Any position you pick here defensively would probably be an upgrade at one of their starting spots. So I'm going to go with Cooper DeJean, as he's someone with the flexibility that can play safety, he can play on the outside, he can play in the slot. So you just kind of value that versatility that you can play with. New York Giants. So this one was kind of a no-brainer. I saw Keon Coleman here, and I was like, me see, me likey. Let's go ahead. They don't have a receiver like Keon Coleman on the roster. So I think that would be a great get for just to add more to the Giants' arsenal. I don't think you improve the offensive line by going with another rookie to start on there. I think you either develop some of the guys you got, or you try to make a splash into free agency to get this offensive line to creep more towards average. But adding playmakers definitely takes pressure off that offensive line. Tampa Bay Buccaroonies. This is actually where I'm going to take Quinn Ewers. I think this is actually a good spot for him too, because like maybe you roll with Baker for another year, and that's a-okay. He's shown, I think he's shown that, hey man, he's still got some game in him. But you definitely don't want to put all your eggs into one basket, and you want to be looking to the future, and Quinn Ewers helps them do that. Green Bay Packers are always so difficult to draft for, and I'm just going to settle on Cameron Kitchens. You got Darnell Savage, going to be a free agent after the season, and Rudy Ford has kind of been up and down thus far. So getting the best safety in this class, I think would be pretty solid for this already terrifying defense. Cameron Kitchens, the man can move, he can fly, he is a true center fielder. All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers, their offensive line is still crap. It's still crap. Roger Jones, I can't wait for him to usurp stinking Dan Moore. Dan Moore's been really bad, and they could probably replace Okorafor, who ironically has probably been one of the more consistent guys through 2 games. Regardless, though, I am going to go with the offensive line, and I'm going to take Kingsley from BYU, former Oregon tackle, and he could play the right side. He might not be ready to start from day one, but I don't think he's too far from it. So yes, needs more polish to his game, but I think he's got a great physical, good physical traits in terms of length, frame, and whatnot. But athletically, he's very impressive as well. Oh man, the New York Jets. Follow me on this. Zach Wilson. It's time to cut ties with it. I mean, obviously they can't do it this season, but I think they need to cut ties with Wilson after this season. You know what? You swung for the fences and you missed. It is what it is. But I think they could swing for the fences here again, because even if Aaron Rodgers comes back, you could bring in a guy to be that heir apparent, to be mentored by Rodgers. And I actually think this is a really good landing spot for Shedeur Sanders. I feel better about him right now as like a top 50 prospect and maybe fringe first rounder, but the Jets are just such a good landing spot for him that I like it. Mamma mia. I think it's a good get. And then if Aaron Rodgers does go down again, then you have Shedeur Sanders, who honestly probably better. I think it's safe to say probably better than what they have in Zach Wilson. He might not have like the big time arm, but his poise in the pocket, his just how he maneuvers the pocket, and how he keeps his eyes downfield, that he's always the want to always be a passer and win with his arm is there, because this guy's got a lot of athletic ability, but he's still choosing to be like, no, I'm a quarterback, I'm gonna find the open target rather than having to pick it up with my feet. The Buffalo Bills, this one was kind of easy because Spencer Brown's kind of pee poo poo, but I think they would love the size, the girth, and the athleticism of a guy like J.C. Latham. Needs more polish to his game, but he's got the build of a first rounder. The Washington Commanders, I wouldn't mind J.C. Latham here, but I think that's fine. Not necessary. Instead, we could go with maybe a Graham Barton, who could also play guard early on, or he could move to one of those tackle spots to help out. So we're going to go with Graham Barton. They're only really good athlete. You just kind of worry about his length a little bit. Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. With the Eagles, it's just it's a team that likes letting value fall to them, and they just go and get it. They kind of go by a best player available philosophy, and I think that's what I'm gonna do with Emeka Egbuka. They brought in Zacchaeus to be that slot. They wanted more consistency from the slot position, and I think Egbuka would bring that in spades. That's just a scary wide receiver trio with Egbuka. You got Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. It's just good value here. Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just gonna go ahead and snag Leonard Taylor. Chris Jones, he's a free agent after this season. They should definitely re-sign him because he is probably the best defensive interior in football right now. But even if they do, they need to find someone that can work next to him. And they've kind of tried that with a rotation of just a bevy of different guys. But Leonard Taylor could be that dude. This is a guy at 300 pounds that moves like a stinking linebacker. The Tennessee Titans. So Sean Murphy-Bunting is a free agent after the season. He's only on a 1-year deal. Trey Avery looks more like a depth guy. Caleb Farley, we haven't seen what he can do really this season because of he hasn't been able to play, not because of injury, but the tragedy that happened with his father. Christian Fulton is often hurt, but when he's healthy for this team, he's really good. And they do have Roger McCreary currently playing majority slot. So maybe grabbing more zest to the corner position be the way to go. And for me, that is Wake Forest's Khalil Carson. Really good man corner. All right, for the New Orleans Saints, this one was kind of tough because they could have gone a bevy of ways. I thought about maybe taking a quarterback here, but like I know they could get out of Derek Carr, but I think Derek Carr will get it together by the season's end. I mean, he's a guy that at least he shows his upside every game. Unfortunately, you just see the peaks and the valleys, though. He's a roller coaster every game. He really is. But maybe they go with just trying to secure more of the defense. Brian Brazil has really looked good in limited time. I would say Colin is it Saunders? He's been a solid run stuffer, but maybe you look to get more upside of that interior position. I think that's where Chris Jenkins comes in. He's not there yet when it comes to his pass protecting, but made Bruce Foreman's freaks list, and someone that you know at the very least is going to be an exceptionally good run stuffer that has some upside as a pass rusher. The Atlanta Falcons, easily their worst position is in fact quarterback. Desmond Ridder has not looked good through 2 games. Don't tell me that just be like, don't tell me it's like, oh, his completion percentage is so good. Yeah, it's pretty easy when you're everything's schemed up for you. Basically, the game plan is fitted in a way that Desmond Ridder can't be a detriment to this team, though he was almost that against the Packers where he just couldn't move the ball in the red zone. So getting an upgrade at quarterback, I think, could go a long way. And Michael Penix has way bigger upside right now than a guy like Desmond Ridder. I do like Jackson Dart, but I don't know if he's ready quite just yet. And Michael Penix, again, if he plays out this whole season healthy, I think a lot of people are going to be like, okay, yeah, he's got some injury red flags in the past, but the last 2 years he's been fully healthy. So we're just going to kind of bet on the guy he's been the last 2 seasons. So I'm going to go ahead and snag him. For the Atlanta Falcons, this one ought to be a little interesting for the Baltimore Ravens. It was honestly kind of tough picking for him, but ultimately I just settled on pass rusher. Dallas Stern kind of looks like the best player on the board at this point, and they really don't have a superstar pass rusher right now. Like Owe has been like fine. David Ojabo really hasn't done much. Clowney's not a long-term option, so grabbing more help at edge I think would go a long way. All right, San Francisco 49ers. I want to address offensive line so badly for this squad. So this might feel like a bit of a reach. I don't really think there's an interior player that's a first rounder, but I'm gonna snag. Where you at? Oh, you're with the tackles. I'm gonna snag Cooper Beebe, who has experience at left tackle because of the sub length, and I don't think he has the best movement skills for a tackle. But I think he can be a all-pro guard when it's all said and done, or at the very least a solid starter at the guard position. Aaron Banks and Spencer Burford haven't exactly been good this year, so you could maybe look to upgrade from those two. The Miami Dolphins. I love getting tackles for my Dolphins, but I don't know if there's a guy that I'd be willing to take at this range at tackle. They actually have us going to the Super Bowl just because our record. Pfft. But hey, this is probably the only time I get to live my Dolphins going to a Super Bowl, so I will. Other areas we could probably address, they got Deshaun Elliott currently playing his mind out right now for the squad, but he's not exactly a long-term answer. So I like actually a guy like Tyler Nubbin here, who has got really good size, great length, very good athlete, and a good nose for the football. And then we're gonna end it off with the Dallas Cowboys. And let me tell you, I was behind. I was between two players at this point, because this is a team that doesn't have a ton of needs, and again, kind of feels like tackle and guard would kind of be reaches here, or offensive line in general. So I was like, you know what, Brandon Cooks, maybe they maybe they move on from him after next season. I don't think that's necessarily the case. But Michael Gallup definitely feels like someone that they could move on from. So I'm looking at like AD Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, but when it came down to it, I was like, man, I just want that speed. I want that speed on the outside for Dallas. So I'm gonna go ahead and snag Xavier Worthy. Kind of feels like a luxury pick at this point, but that's the mock draft, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead, take a gander at this sucker. As yeah, it's very interesting. The draft order, the minute I went on Take-a-thon and saw what they had the draft order as, I was like, oh man, this could be really, really fun. And to be fair, I had a really good time with this. I really did. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.